Hello student, welcome to the Brilliance Growth Academy. We are working on our fifth chapter, that is the organizing. Today we will discuss about delegations. We have already some of the important topic in last videos. Now we are moving ahead and we are talking about what is the meaning of delegation and how it will be helpful for the organizations, right? Usually it happens that when you are interested with the some of the important project or some of the important task, but it includes several other tasks that you need to complete the simultaneously. So it is important for the organization, it is important for the managers to complete the project in the deadline. So what are the opportunities or what are the possibilities that the project or the task will be completed within the deadlines? There is only one option. You need to segregate or you need to provide some of the activities to your subordinates, right? So when you transfer, when you give the authority from your hand to your subordinate, then it is becomes delegation of the task. So we will study the same point in this our particular chapter or in this our particular topic. So delegation is the downward transfer of authority from a superior to a subordinate. It is a compulsory act for operational survival. It does not mean abdication of ultimate responsibilities. And it means that ki whenever you have a good project or good amount of task in your hand and you cannot complete the task as a superior, so you need to delegate some of the important task or say a routine task to your subordinate so that they can handle it properly and only you will focus on some exceptional task that you can only do. So in that case, you are transferring the authority of doing a particular task or the particular service to your subordinate. So it is a compulsory act for operational survival because it means that you cannot complete all the activities on your own as a manager or as a superior. You definitely have to disperse some of your important tasks to your subordinate and make them responsible, make them accountable for the same. But it does not mean that abdication of ultimate responsibility. Ultimate responsibility for completion of the work lies with the superiors, lies with the managers. They are totally accountable to the accomplished task of their subordinate. So, delegation is the downward transfer of authority from the superior to subordinate, and it is a compulsory act for operational survival. It does not mean abdication of ultimate responsibilities. So, managers cannot avoid that this task has been done by the subordinate and I am not responsible. He cannot say like this, right? Now we are moving ahead and we are coming on the element of the delegations. You can see that there are three essential elements of delegation. First is the authority, second is the responsibilities, and third is the accountabilities. And now we will study each one of them. First is authority. Authority is related to the power you have as a manager or as a superior. And it includes the right to command subordinate effectively. Because if you have authority, if you have given some of the tasks to your subordinate, so you are directly have a command over your subordinate and you try to make them feel that you are accountable for their job and you will have to give them some instruction. Command means instruction you have to give. So as a manager, you need to give command to your subordinate effectively. It flows downward from top management. It flows from top management to lower or middle level management. So it is a flow from top to bottom and it can be completely delegated. So you can delegate your task, you can delegate the activities, you can delegate the authority as well. So in that sense, you are giving some of the important tasks to the subordinate along with the authority. It means that you are totally giving them some of the important activities or some of the important major work so that it can be completed by the subordinate, and subordinate will definitely take interest in in completing all their tasks assigned by the superior or the supervisor. Next, we are moving on the responsibilities. Responsibility is related with the obligation to perform assigned tasks, right? And it flows from upward, from subordinate to superior. So responsibility is what? Responsibility is related with the performance of assigned task. If whatever you have done, whatever you have completed, and now you are reversing the process, you are giving the information, you are reporting to your superiors about the assigned task you have completed, about the assigned task you have completed. So in that sense, you are responsible the task you have completed, and you have to inform them or say superior or a managers about the work done by you or as a subordinate. You cannot be entirely delegated away. You cannot be entirely delegated away. And it means that if you have authority and you cannot be working on a particular task, you cannot be working on a a particular task, and the responsibility lies still with you, right? So superiors can say you that you have done this work and this much of flaws I have found in your work. So your responsibilities still lie with you, right? So once the task is assigned from the superior to subordinate, and subordinate again with the responsibilities report to the superior about the task completed, so he or she will not be or cannot be entirely delegated away, right? So in that case, they have responsibilities to complete their task, and if there are some flaws, their shortcoming or mistakes, they need to complete it during that time as well. So it is important to organize the task suggested by the superior on account of subordinate. Now we are moving ahead, and we are coming on a third important point, that is accountability. Accountability is related with the answerabilities for the final task outcome, right? So here the subordinate will be accountable the task done by him or her. They cannot say that we have no idea about the task, whether it's completed or not, and we have completed so much, we are not liable further. So they cannot say like these words. So flow upward to higher authorities, or accountability flows from lower to upward, or say downward to upward. So in the same way, subordinate is responsible for his or her own task or her task outcome, and he or she need to report to the supervisor or say superiors. And here it cannot be delegated at all. So what we are talking about, delegations have a three element: authority, responsibility, and accountability. No doubt manager definitely give tasks to their subordinate, and the subordinate has to complete all the tasks effectively. So when they deliver a task or when they hand out the task to their subordinate, they give the authority, they give the responsibility, and they also make them accountable for their task or the outcomes for the task. So here cannot be delegated all means manager is a final responsible. Manager is a finally responsible for the task done by the subordinate. He, as a manager, cannot say that you have done this, I am not responsible. He is completely responsible. He has given the authority to complete the work. He has assigned responsibilities on the subordinate shoulder. He has made them accountable. for the task done by the subordinated, but final responsibility or final accountabilities also lies with the managers, right? So authority is delegated, responsibility is assumed, and accountability is imposed. It is a simple rule. You need to delegate the authority if you want the work to be done by the subordinate. You need to assume that it is their responsibility, they will complete. It means subordinate will complete. You have to assume the responsibility because the manager has given task or assigned the responsibilities to the subordinate. So so responsibilities assume that this task or this particular activities will be done by the subordinate, and accountability is imposed. Accountability imposed is that the final outcome, whatever it is, whatever the final outcome of a particular task or activities, accountabilities will be imposed on the subordinate. You have done this work, how you have done this work, what are the base, what are the factors, and if there are any shortcoming or mistakes, how will you improve. So you will definitely make them accountable. So finally outcomes would be associated with the subordinate, but manager will make them accountable, their make them accountable about their task, and finally the manager will try to make it correct, make it correct or get it done corrected by the subordinate. So in this way your delegation will work. Here you can have many examples, you can observe many examples through the organization. So how they will give the authority, how they will make them responsible, and how they will make them accountable regarding the task has been assigned from the superior to subordinate. So in this way you are giving them a kind of direction, right? For example, a manager or a sales managers give his subordinate to market the product, sell the product. So he has assigned the task of selling or marketing the product. Now the manager has to make them responsible for the sale, how much price you can quote, how much discount you can give them. So a certain level, the managers will make the subordinate responsible for the assigned task. But how much sales target they will achieve or how much sales target they have not achieved, the manager will make them accountable for the target assigned to them. So in this way managers give them authority, responsibility, and make them accountable regarding the task or a particular project and its activities. So authority is delegated, responsibility is assumed, and accountability is imposed. So in this way accountability is important. You are answerable for the task you have done. You are reporting to your superior or a manager, and you cannot be delegated at all, right? It means that managers will definitely give you the task, manager will make you responsible, manager will make you accountable, but ultimately manager or superiors are the responsible one who will shoulder the responsibility of not done by a particular task, who will shoulder the responsibilities of not making or not make the task available in a final outcome positions by the subordinate. So they are totally accountable for their task, right? Now we are moving ahead, and we are trying to figure out the importance of delegation. What are the importance of delegation, and how it will be effective for the organization? We will consider the same. First point regarding the delegation of and its importance: effective managers, effective management. Manager focus on a high priority matters, right? As I told you before, that manager is a totally responsible for the high priority matters or a task. So he or she will assign less priority work or less priority work or less work to their subordinate, with the authority, with the responsibility and accountabilities. So managers can focus only high priority tasks and rest of the tasks are offered to the or are handed over to the subordinate for completion. So in this way, organization is doing very effectively, because manager has to only focus on important tasks or a high priority matters or a task. They will not focus on less important work, and because they have been assigned to their manager, or sorry, subordinate. So in that case, effective management might be possible through the delegation. Next one is employees development. Give subordinate career growth opportunities, because when you are giving the authority to the subordinate, make them responsible, make them accountable for the task, so definitely you are giving them a chance to grow up in their life, grow up in their careers. They would become the future leader, they would become the future managers, and how they have completed a task, and how they are responsible, how they are accountable. So everything would make them to listen or learn something new aspect through the work or assignment done by the subordinate. So in this way, subordinate will develop, subordinate will grow, subordinate will learn, subordinate will understand and comprehend the situations through the task assigned to them. Sometimes the subordinate has to meet with the client, subordinate has to meet with the customer, subordinate handle the tough situations, and sometimes they have to go for a important assignment, important meeting. So sometimes they have to done it alone. So here the matter would make them more appropriate about the task done to them. They will grow, they will nurture, they will learn, they will listen, they would become more dynamic in a different situation. So in this way, employee development would be possible. Next point is motivation of the employees. How the employees will be motivated to the delegation? Trust build commitment and self-esteem. Right? Managers have a trust in their subordinate. So trust build commitment and self-esteem. So once the managers place his trust in the subordinate, so subordinate will definitely give their commitment about the task. They will self-realize, they have a self-esteem about the task they want to perform, and they would make them responsible for the task done. So in this way, the employee give have a motivation about the task and the assigned duties, because once the duties are assigned, it will be helpful for the subordinate to understand the task and assign responsibility, and also understand the accountabilities. So it will give a trust factors to the manager having a trust, have assigned the job responsibilities to the subordinate. So subordinate will definitely obey the managers, will definitely follow the compliances and the policies, and in this way they will build the trust in form of commitment, and they will have a self-esteem in completion the work. So it will definitely motivate the employees to work with the superior, with the managers, and it will give them a kind of sense of responsibilities, sense of understanding, and sense of behavior in which they will behave like a subordinate, because it will give them opportunities in the near future to become a dynamic manager, a dynamic leader who can guide others. So trust build commitment and self-esteem. Next, we are focusing on facilitation of the growth. It creates a trained workforce for expansions, right? So once you delegate the authority, once you delegate the responsibility and accountabilities, so definitely you are giving them the task along with the responsibilities and the authority. So it will train the workforce. It will train the subordinate for the next upcoming expansions, because the business definitely want to expand its product line, its product strength. So definitely they will work for the same, and in the same direction they need a divisional structure that we have understood yesterday or in our previous video. So in this way, the trained workforce will help the organization in expansion plan, because the organization want to expand its business and definitely will grow and expand their business overseas markets. In this way, the trained workforce will be assigned to a particular division, and in this way, division will work under the trained workforce, under the trained employees, and it will facilitate the growth for the organization and the company. So, facilitation of growth is also possible with the delegation of authority, responsibilities, and your assignment. Next is management hierarchy. It establishes the superior subordinate reporting links. Right, management hierarchy, as we have discussed, the scalar chain type of hierarchy, because there is a relationship between the superior and subordinate regarding the work assigned by the superiors to the subordinate, and the superiors are definitely accountable and responsible for the task done by the subordinate. So there is a reporting relationship between the management, between the superior and the subordinate. So we cannot say that after assigning a particular duties and the task, superiors are not liable for the same. Definitely they are liable for the duties and the task assigned to the subordinate, and the project and its activities assigned to the subordinate. The subordinate superior will take not about the task completion from the subordinate on a different period of time, and they will think that how the subordinate is working, and how the subordinate is taking actions, they are showing their leadership, showing their initiatives. So everything would cover under the assigned duties and the responsibilities. So definitely they will try to analyze their behavior, they will try to flaws, they will try to mistakes, they will inform them time to time, they will give them feedback. So in this way, there will be a reporting link, so reporting relationship between the superior and subordinate. So delegation will establish the superior subordinate reporting link, and it will be a part of management hierarchy. Next and last point related with the importance of delegation is better coordination. So it avoids the overlapping duties and duplication, right? It means that you have assigned one duties to one person or one subordinate, right? You are assigning the second duty to second person, and further, and so on and so forth. So in this case, you are not overlapping duties or duplication. One task will be done by one subordinate, other task will be done by the other subordinate. So in this way, better coordination is possible between the subordinates and the managers. So managers will definitely try to analyze the different tasks assigned to different subordinate under his re- re- reporting relationship, and it definitely avoid the duplication of work, duplication of tasks, and duties that might hamper the working of the organization. So various duties are assigned to the various individuals, various subordinates. So each one of them make accountable, make responsible, and definitely they have authority to complete that task and the duties. So in this way, there is a better coordination would be assumed through the delegation of authority. So in this way, you have understood these importance of delegations. Here I have mentioned a question will help you to understand how you understood the approach in a better manner. Now we are focusing on the next point, that is the centralization and the decentralization, right? So under the delegation, under the domain of delegation, you understand the centralization and decentralization. Both are the important core concept, and the centralization related with what? Centralization is the decision making authority remains with the top management. It means that all the decision making authority and habits would remain with the top management, right? Middle or lower management will not be able to take the decision regarding a matter. Only or only top management would liable to make a decision about something important, about something exceptional. So Centralization related with the decision making authority lies with the top management. Decentralization is opposite to it. It is a systematic dispersal of the authority across all levels. So it is an optional and company wide policies decisions. It means that decentralization that you need to do is you have to disperse the authority across all levels. Top management will give some authority to the middle level gives some authority to the lower level, right? It is not the way in which all the decisions are done by the top management only. No, not at all. Some of the activities its decision making situation will assign and related with the particular management level. So at a lower level, some of the superior and the person would be responsible for taking the decision and completing the particular job and task. At the middle level management, they are also having some responsibilities, authorities, and also the power to complete a particular task and authority. So top management is free from all the activities, whether it's a small or big. They are only assigned to the big or exceptional situations. They have to focus only on exceptional situations. In that case, they are only associated with the framing the policies, procedures, rules, and regulation about the organization, and how the top management will do a further expansion. They will consider this particular matter, and decision making for this particular task or some important task would lies with the top management, and rest of the all the task and its responsibilities lies with the middle or lower management. So they will definitely decentralize. It means that the power is not confined to one hand. Centralization means power is confined to one hand, but decentralized means power is released. Decentralized means power is released. So once you are confining the power in one hand, it is a centralization. But but when you are dispersing the power to more to middle level management or the lower level management, it is considered as a decentralization, right? So it is an optional and company wide policies decisions. So it depends on the company to company. Sometimes company decentralizes certain amount of power and authority, rest they have in their own hand. They do not decentralize, or they you can say that it would be centralized, and they would definitely will work for the centralization more. So these are the two important concepts that will help you to understand the centralization and decentralization. You can understand its importance. What is the importance of decentralization? It developed the initiative. Decentralization is quite important in comparison to centralization, because decentralizations will help you to grow and sustain and survive and earn more profit and your business, expand your business. So it will definitely develop the initiative. First importance of the decentralization. It develops the initiatives. It promotes self-reliance among lower level subordinates. It promotes सेल्फ रिलायंस अमंग लोअर लेवल सबॉर्डिनेट, मतलब इट मीन्स कि लोअर लेवल सबॉर्डिनेट के ऊपर सेल्फ रिलायंस विल हेल्प यू. You do not have to see the face of middle management or the upper management or top management to uh, take a decision. You are self-reliant, right? You do not have to see the face middle level management and the top management regarding any situation, regarding any problem, regarding any task. You are self-reliant. You can take your own decision at your level. So helps develop it helps in developing initiatives. It helps in developing the initiatives. Second, it developed the future talent. Subordinate gain experience while handling the task independently. Subordinate gain experience handling the task independently. Here you will observe that in the near. So develop the future talent. It gives the subordinate a time to think or a time to handle the task. Through them, they can gain the experience, they can gain the knowledge and more. sophisticated information through the task done by them. It is important for the subordinate to think differently how we are doing this task and how we are gaining the experience through this task. It gives them a chance to analyze their own behavior, analyze their own way of working the things, analyze their own experience. What are they gaining through the particular task or activities? So it gave them a chance to think in a differently, and it will give them some dynamic experience that will helpful for the near future and near assigned project. Next, we are talking on a quick decision making. When you are having a decentralization aspects in your organization, then definitely you do not have to seek the permission from the middle or upper middle level of the organization, or say top management. You are self assigned with the decision making process. You can take a quick decisions about the thing, about the service, about the product, or about the situation. So you do not have to seek the permission from the top or middle level management. Next, relief to the top management. It gave relief to the top management because the top management had decentralized all the tasks, decentralized all the authority and responsibility and accountability. So they are left with only the more important tasks like the policies or procedures, rules and regulation, framing. So in this way, it gives them a chance to think in a very different way, and it helps them to grow their business, to grow their process, and they can diversify their business in a new area as well. So this time will help them to expand their business, grow their business, and they can think about a new idea, new perspective about the business. So it will helpful for them to think in a new direction and new dimension, right? Next, it facilitate the growth. Dynamic department autonomy boost internal competition, facilitate the growth, right? Dynamic department autonomy boost internal competition. It means that when you are decentralized with the particular things, activities, so every department has its own autonomy, and it will have own decision making process. So it will definitely boost internal competitions. Internal competition in sense they will try to manage the thing on its own. They will try to analyze the things in a very subtle manner. They will try to enhance the product approach. They will try to enhance the quality of product, quality of services. So everywhere they will think in a qualitative manners. So it will facilitate the growth of the department and its employees when they have a decentralization aspects in their department and in their job as well. So dynamic department autonomy boost internal competition. They will only focus on the qualitative aspects of the department, and it will help them to increase the growth or facilitate the growth in the organization, right? And last one is better control. Individual departments are held directly accountable, right? When you are following the process of decentralization, then you have to think in a very different manner, or every department, whether it's a finance, marketing, say HR and production, purchase, so every department are held directly accountable because the top management has decentralized the process, and they do every department need not to approach them for every minute task and every minute activities that the department has to handle. So every time they are doing their own task, and they are held accountable for the activities, accountable for the task done by the different department. So they are handling the better control on each and every department because they make them individual department accountable for the task assigned to them in this regard. So in this way, decentralization help the organization to think in a very different manner, right? So here I have given you a comparative view about the delegation and decentralization. Who is most important? I think delegation, and in between the in between the delegation and decentralization, Decentralization play a significant role. First, it is based on the nature. Compulsory act for every manager, they have to delegate, and decentralize are optional policies decision by the management. Then who provide more freedom, more control, less subordinate freedom is assigned under delegation, but less executive control or more freedom is given under the decentralization. Status process follow to share the task, and result of major top policies decision, because delegation definitely give the manager to share the task to their employees, or sorry, about subordinates, so that more important tasks can be handled by the manager as well. Next, result of the major top policy decision. Top policy decision will work for the whole of the department or whole of the organization, because top management decide that minor decision, minor task would be handled by the department itself, right? They do not have to seek the permission from us for their every little bit task or little bit information. They do not seek the permission from us. So in this way, decentralization help the top management to think in a very innovative or in very different direction. And next one is a scope. Delegation has a narrow scope, only two parties, subordinate and superior. Decentralization a wide scope, that is a firm wide layers, top management to middle, middle to lower. So every level they have a decentralization, they have their own process, they have their own decision making abilities. So it has wide scope in terms of decentralization and narrow scope in terms of delegation. Last, purpose. Purpose of delegation is to reduce a manager's workload. Delegation is totally focused on to reduce a manager's workload, and decentralization is to focus on to increase subordinate autonomy, right? So subordinate will be more will have a more autonomy in terms of their activities, in terms of their decision making process. So they can handle the task, they can perform the task at their own level without seeking the permission from the middle or a top management. They are not taking so much interest in doing so. So definitely decentralization will give more dynamic approach to the organization, more dynamic approach to the different department and their activities. So delegation is somehow important, but decentralization give the organization a new horizon to think in a very different manner, right? So you have understood both the points, and here I have given you the check your understanding, and will definitely help you to think about the same. So far we have done our 5 chapter, and on now onwards we will focus on the 6th one. But before reaching to the 6th one, I would like you to think and read and study these chapters, and you can share these chapters to your friends and other cousins, whatever it is. And if you like the content, if you like the information, then you can share, and you can save the channel, you can subscribe the channel, and if you like, you can comment on it. So if you like to more about any particular topic, then you can inform me, then you can comment in the comment box, so that I can further design a video on a particular topic, and definitely it will be helpful for you. Thank you for thank you for this video. See you later. Have a nice day.